Welcome back, ballroom dance friends. Today, before I get started, I want to share with you some sad news. And that is, this past week, we lost one of the American ballroom dance legends to cancer. And her name is Irina Suvorov. Irina is one of many coaches that I would fly into the ballroom when I owned a studio to do visiting coaching. So I would get to take lessons with her. All my students would get to enjoy lessons with her. And guys, she was just a 100% sweetheart. And in terms of coaching, one of many female ballroom dance coaches that were excellent teachers. And I've taken from many excellent female ballroom dancers that are not great teachers, but I have been blessed to have her among some other amazing role models that were outstanding at communicating how to ballroom dance and improve at an elite championship level. So I'm just going to take a minute just to share some pictures of Irina, including some lessons that she taught in our studio. And I'll be right back. So Irina will be dearly missed, and I know many of you, if you live in the United States, certainly have taken coaching with her as well. So if you have, feel free, please comment below with your experiences because I'm sure they are wonderful. Okay, today I'm going to respond to a comment on one of my YouTube videos by our ballroom dance friend, Pippin. And they ask, I thought you might want to do a video on what is Rising Star for people and cover both Pro-Am and Rising Star. Okay, and previously I have broken down the many levels we have in Pro-Am competition and in amateur competition. And there's many differences between entering as a Pro-Am, entering as an amateur, entering as a pro. Pro does have its own separate divisions that I have not covered before. For starters, Pro does not have any age divisions like we do in amateur competition worldwide or Pro-Am competition, okay? So in amateur, for example, we would not have a 10-year-old couple who's been dancing 2 months up on the floor against a 70-year-old couple who's been dancing 40 years. This is apples and oranges. So when you compete, you enter a skill level that is commensurate and an age level that is commensurate with where you are in this stage of your ballroom dance life, okay? And in my opinion, it makes it very fair. I've also explained the difference between the terms open and closed. And open does mean some other things that I have shared in a separate video. So I think I'll share a link to that video in the description below in case you missed that one, because that'll be helpful as well. Okay. Now, as mentioned, the professional divisions do have multiple levels, but only two layers. Okay. And as I've previously shared, most ballroom dance teachers are social level dancers, meaning often they have not ever even competed at the championship level. They may not have competed at all. And they certainly are incapable of training competitors, at least successful competitors in the dance sport scene. And sadly, I have seen social level dancers send their students out on the comp floor like lambs to the slaughter to be completely outclassed. So if you're wondering if your pro is kind of a little bit higher caliber, maybe just check out the level of students they've previously created. Have they ever taught a competitor or a successful competitor? If you're not sure, that's a super safe way to kind of gauge their skill level and what they're capable of teaching you guys. And it's sad. I don't know if those social teachers are just financially taking advantage of those students. Like, oh, well, you must not be talented, just to get more money out of them. Or maybe they're just blissfully unaware of their actual abilities. I have no idea, but I have seen it, sadly. Most are ethical and they will be honest with their limitations, or worst case scenario, they'll say, oh, well, you shouldn't compete. It'll be bad for your morale, in which is a euphemism for I cannot teach you to that skill level. But from my experience, ballroom dance sport is fun and helps you be a better dancer. Highly recommend, friends. Okay, so as mentioned, professional has two different categories. We have the open pro, okay? So this is an abbreviation of open professional, okay? So this is the most competitive category. You don't usually would call it championship pro. The only place I do see that commonplace is like on TV when they reference dance sport pros, because the common public does not know the correct terminology. Also, if you've seen Championship Ballroom Dancing, the TV program that was on for many, many, many years on PBS, they refer to it as professional championship level. So these are one and the same. It's called open pro. You might also hear the term open standard, open Latin, okay, or open pro would be more common. Okay, now there is a second category in the professional divisions, and that is called Rising Star. Okay, now in Rising Star, it's kind of the second tier of professional level dancers, but I do not mean that in a condescending way, one iota. Everyone dancing Rising Star and Open Professional is a championship level dancer, a highly trained dancer, an extremely experienced competitor, okay? That doesn't mean they're bad, but they're probably a little bit of a newer pro. And unlike the amateur dance sport system where you point out of each category, like if you win a certain number of events with a certain number of couples, you are forced to compete at the next level up going forward. That, to my knowledge, doesn't exist in the Open Pro, although in practice, what I have seen 100% of the time is if a professional couple wins that Rising Star, category at any comp, they never compete at it again the next year. That would be considered sandbagging, like, hey, give that title to someone else, And it's very prestigious to win that as well. I use the term second tier only because I can't think of anything better off the top of my head, guys, okay? And usually, there's the same number of competitors in the Open Pro as the Rising Star. As a matter of fact, usually there's more competitors that I've seen in comps I've done over the number of Open Pro professionals. So interesting. And I have competed in both divisions, and like every other pro in the universe, no one started out there, guys. I started out as an amateur newcomer like every other of my pro friends, okay? So don't be intimidated at whatever stage of the game you're in, okay? So anyway, thank you so much for your wonderful question, Pippin. I'm sure other people have been wondering the same thing. And if you ever have a question about ballroom dance, whether it's competition, social dance, costuming, culture, technique, please comment below. I share videos almost every day, and I always aim to share things that are of interest or helpful or at least entertaining to you. And your questions sure help me a lot. I so appreciate it. So thank you so much, Pippin. Thank you all for joining me today. And if you love all things ballroom dance, please subscribe to our channel, and we will see you in the morning. Doodles!